Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're breaking down an absolutely explosive clash between two of the National League's biggest heavyweights, the Los Angeles Dodgers and the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, these are two teams sitting exactly where they want to be, right? You've got LA up by a massive 11 games out in the West, and Philly keeping the Braves squarely in their rearview mirror, leading by 3 in the East. When titans like this clash, you expect high stakes, you expect tension, and for sure, incredible individual performances. But honestly, what actually unfolded in this matchup went way beyond a standard baseball game. It was just a chaotic, unforgettable spectacle. Let's get right into the action.
So I want you to keep this question in the back of your mind as we go through this. How in the world does a player commit 2 glaring, totally unforced defensive errors, get absolutely booed by his own passionate home crowd, and yet somehow walk away as the undeniable, undisputed hero of the night? Usually in baseball, if you fall apart in the field, well, it completely ruins your night at the plate. But as we're going to see, the story of Trea Turner in this game defies all conventional logic. It's a total roller coaster, and you literally have to see it to believe it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Sanchez dominates early on.
Before the offensive fireworks even started, this game kicked off as a masterclass on the mound. Philadelphia's Christopher Sanchez was out there looking for his 12th win. And let me tell you, when this guy pitches in Philly, he is an entirely different beast. Just look at this number, 0.86. Coming into this matchup, that was his ERA over 11 starts at Citizens Bank Park. To put that into perspective, that is the lowest home ERA in all of Major League Baseball. The guy was sitting on a 7-1 record at home. He's practically built an absolute fortress in Philadelphia, and that aura of dominance immediately put the high-powered Dodgers lineup right on their heels. So how does he actually do it? Well, the broadcasters hit the nail on the head when they described Sanchez's approach as pitching as an illusion. It's kind of like looking into a side view mirror where objects appear closer than they really are. He'll start a fastball inside, and then suddenly, whoosh, a devastating back foot slider just vanishes out of the strike zone. He uses this surgical precision to completely deceive hitters. Look no further than his battle with Shohei Ohtani, who, to be fair, was a bit compromised after having his left knee drained right before the All-Star break. Sanchez threw Ohtani 13 pitches, and not a single one was in the middle to upper part of the zone. Everything was just buried down and away. And the result? Ohtani struck out looking at a slider right on the very edge of the plate. Sanchez racked up 7 spectacular strikeouts on the night utilizing this exact illusion.
Section 2. Trea Turner's redemption arc. Now, while Sanchez was keeping things super tight on the mound, the game's main protagonist was having a completely different kind of night on the dirt. The whiplash here is just incredible. Top of the first inning, Turner faces a tailor-made grounder, bobbles it off the heel of his glove going to his left, and boom, logs his 15th error of the season. The Philly crowd, yeah, they immediately let him have it. But the very next half inning, Turner steps to the plate and absolutely scorches a 110-mile-per-hour redemption double off the center field wall. Jump ahead to the third inning, he crushes a 2-run home run, his 13th of the year, extending the lead to 4-0. But wait, the defensive nightmare wasn't over. 6th inning, he short hops another grounder right off his glove, error number 16. The crowd groans again, and how does he respond this time? Later that same inning, he launches a massive 3-run rocket right down the line. Literally every single time he created a disaster in the field, he immediately erased it with an absolute explosion at the plate. And this brilliantly illustrates what the broadcaster said while Turner was rounding the bases. The good and the bad, but tonight, the great at the plate. It honestly captures the chaotic beauty of baseball perfectly. You can have the absolute worst night of your life with the leather. But hey, if you can swing the lumber like Trea Turner did in this matchup, you still walk away the hero. Section 3. Contrasting the stars.
Now, what's really interesting about this contrast is how the Dodgers' monumental superstars handled the pressure cooker of Citizens Bank Park. There was just a really stark difference between the two men at the top of their lineup. On one hand, Shohei Ohtani had a remarkably quiet night. Dealing with that recently drained left knee, he went 0 for 2, got completely neutralized by Sanchez's low and away sliders, and eventually was handed multiple intentional walks by the Phillies bullpen. But then you look at Mookie Betts. Mookie put on a relentless, explosive one-man fight to keep LA in the game. I mean, he racked up 3 hits, including 2 massive solo home runs. One of those was a 100-mile-per-hour blast that traveled 401 feet to left field. While the rest of the Dodgers lineup struggled to find any answers, Betts was just a singular, unstoppable force.
Section 4. The Phillies' home run barrage.
But unfortunately for Mookie, a one-man wrecking crew just wasn't enough to stop what came next.
Guys, this wasn't even a baseball game anymore. It turned into a Philadelphia home run derby. The Dodgers tried to claw back, but every single time they did, the Phillies answered with terrifying power. You had Trey Turner's two-run shot. Then Brandon Marsh steps up and answers a Dodgers rally with a monster solo bomb to left center, his 16th of the year. Then Turner hits another one, that three-run rocket down the line. Bryce Harper gets in on the action with a deep drive to left field for his 21st of the season. And finally, Derek Hills steps in and absolutely annihilates a solo rocket. That is 5 home runs from the Philadelphia lineup in one single game. They just completely, visually, and physically overwhelmed the Dodgers with sheer firepower. I actually want to pause on that barrage for just a second to highlight a monumental milestone that happened right in the middle of all that chaos. When Bryce Harper sent that deep drive into the left field seats off Landon Knack, it wasn't just his 21st of the year. That blast was Bryce Harper's 200th career home run wearing a Philadelphia Phillies uniform. Reaching a milestone like that in front of an electric home crowd right in the middle of a blowout against one of your biggest National League rivals? Come on, that is the stuff of legends. So, the crucial point is right here in Section 5, making history at the bank. Because this wasn't just a regular mid-season game. When that final ground out, which, fittingly enough, was fielded by Trey Turner on a totally clean hop, ended the game, the crowd absolutely erupted. The Phillies didn't just beat the Dodgers, they made history, officially marking the 1,000th regular season win for the franchise at Citizens Bank Park. And it is incredibly fitting that win number 1,000 featured all the elements that make this team so utterly terrifying. Dominant home pitching, relentless star power, and an offense that can literally bury you in a matter of pitches. Which leaves us with this final thought. Between Christopher Sanchez dealing unhittable pitching illusions, a totally energized crowd, and a relentless offense that literally answers its own errors by launching home runs, you have to ask yourself, are the Philadelphia Phillies the undisputed team to beat this October? I mean, if they can systematically dismantle a powerhouse like the Dodgers like this, the rest of the league has a massive problem on their hands. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see how the rest of this incredible baseball season unfolds.